Hey everybody, how is everybody doing today? I hope everybody is having a wonderful holiday. This is going to be a little quick couple of sessions for us to just be able to take a moment and just reflect over this year's past. And it's going to be broken up into three parts while also being intentional for the year to come. I thought it would be a cool idea for me to also add some infusions, of course. So the infusions that I'm bringing to these three sessions are going to be one from when I first started, one that kind of represents a little bit of the present, and then a new blend for the future. So stay tuned. If you don't have an herbal infusion on you right now, just take a moment, pause the video, go and create you some, and then pop back on, and then we can get started. Okay, so I wanted to start by telling y'all what I have. So this blend here is actually one of my favorites. This is called Cinnamon Spice Oolong. I actually created this blend at the beginning of my venture to starting herbal infusions. At the time, it was winter, I was really sick, and I have already heard that ginger could like cure all and just help knock out sicknesses, colds, and all types of things. But originally, I just didn't want a ginger tea. I wanted to add some other stuff to it, so I added some of my favorite spices like cinnamon and nutmeg and cloves. All of those have some really nice earthy taste to it. And then later on, I was introduced to oolong. I didn't know what it was at the time, but I was just introduced to oolong. And now I find that the oolong that I use has a more robust flavor to it. So oolong tea actually is oxidized a little bit longer than green tea, but less than black tea. So you get an array of different types of oolongs because of that. But the oolong that I use specifically for this blend is a darker oolong with a more robust flavor. So this is so good, you guys. Okay, so let's get started. So one of the first questions I wanted to ask, and that you can answer for yourself as well, is who are you? So let's just start with that before we get into thinking about our past and our present and our future. I feel like it's important to know who you are, where you stand, and all of those things. So for me, I'm Matthias Payton. I know who I am. I know I'm a goofy, silly guy. I know that I have a passion for health. I know that I have a passion for people's well-being, mentally, emotionally, physically as well. And I know I love research, which is how I got into doing tons of research for all of these blends. And I also know that I love people. So just take a moment to know who you are and think about who you are before we continue to go through this. I also mentioned some things that I'm passionate about, so take a moment to just think like, who am I today, and what am I passionate about as well. So the next question, starting off with our past, that I added on here is, what have I accomplished this year? So before we get into like struggles of 2021, I would like to start off on a high note. So what did you accomplish this year for 2021? You can, if you're doing this with a friend or a family member or just a little small group, just like take a moment to just discuss with each other. Like, this is what I got done. This is what I'm proud of. So for me, this year I was able to get into about 15 locations. I thought it was really exciting. I was able to meet tons of new people in business, and some of these people, or a good number of these people, have become my friends. And I can still communicate with them up to this day. Sometimes I just like send them messages throughout the week, and they send me messages, just like encouraging each other, just positive information. Hey, how are you doing? That sort of thing. So meeting new people is always a big thing for me. Getting into some of these locations was a really big thing for me as well. Um, Yeah, I'm gonna go to the next one because there's a little bit more that are like more or less business questions that I have on here as well. What challenges did I face? Challenges of coming out of my shell as a business owner, actually talking to other entrepreneurs, other business owners, and just really taking a step out of the box, I would guess I might say, to just continue to grow my business. Challenges of being a one man show at the beginning of the year and pushing toward having more people on my team or more people that helps me out throughout the year. Um, that was challenging. Some of y'all may not know me as a shy person, but I used to be one. So there was a bit of pushing through to talk to people that I don't know and just being able to just walk up to somebody and say like, "Hey, how are you?" and really just be yourself with the actual goal in mind of, "Hey, I want you to partner with me." Small things like not having tons of funding and growing to a point where I have funding for myself um, without going into loans and all of that stuff. Those are some of my challenges that I would say. So we just went through accomplishments and challenges. Now we're going to what lessons have we have learned, or what lessons have I have learned from the challenges, I guess you might say. Um, so I guess one major lesson that I learned this year, um, I feel like I've been learning how to be more comfortable in myself when it comes to communicating with other people. And actually, now I'm thinking about it, networking. Uh, I've learned how to network a lot better because I would go into a space, but not network as in just for business. How to make friends in front and how to just make friends in a big crowd of people, I guess you might say. Um, where, for example, like going into an event where there's a bunch of different people there and you're just in a mood where you're just gonna talk to people. I think that, or just being out and for around a lot of people and not knowing anybody, but then being in a space where you're meant to get to know people, and sometimes it falls on you to just do the work and just meet people. I feel like I've learned somewhat how to do that, and other challenges just how to being able to function and flow now and still continue to keep your head up and smile and be happy, and also somehow imprint some of that same joy and positivity toward other people. So I wouldn't say that's been somewhat of a challenge or a lesson that I've learned. So my question to you all as well is, how have you grown this year? What based off of the accomplishments and the challenges and the lessons that you have had, how have you grown? Of course, we can easily say I've become wiser. Of course, we can say I've become stronger, I've become smarter. Um, but I want to say for me, I've become more consistent. People in my past would have known me. If you would have met me like 10, 15 years ago, you would have seen a shy guy who has also been like just start things, have a bunch of ideas, but never really do, I wouldn't say not complete them, but doing them over the course of a years to come type of thing. So becoming more consistent has been one way that I feel like I have grown the most.